these topics are topics that I saw in a live in reverse. All of these things were said about women. It said women that don't want to go 50-50 are users and all of these other things. I just made it apply to men. So that's where I got it from. So anyway, let me just keep going. I want to talk about it. And I want to talk about why is it, like, you notice that the first thing that I said, a man got in the comments and was irritated by what I said. And it's crazy because they literally had a live about this yesterday, except it was reversed towards women. And for the life of me, I don't understand how y'all can say these things about women, have these lives about women about these exact same topics, and then get mad when a woman makes the topic directed towards men. So weird, so strange. Anyway, let's talk about it. Men that don't pay all the bills are users, and they don't like you. They do not like you. Why do BOK men only want submission when it comes to BWs? Because if they're with a YT woman, they have no problem being submissive. They have no problem being led. They have no problem doing whatever she say. They have no problem letting her call them out their name, do race play, all of these things. They have no issues with it. The only time they want to be the big man, they want to be the leader, they want to do all of this is if it is with a BLK woman. Yeah. And I also wanted to talk about, have you ever noticed that BLK men that are red pill, passport bros, et cetera, are noticeably unattractive? When you tell me when is the last time you saw the black men, the BLK men that come on these apps and talk about submission, 50-50, and all of these things that they were attractive? Really, tell me when. And hey, how you doing, Dan? So today, that's what I want to talk about. My thing is that I find that I'm really starting to believe that a lot of the things that have been told to women about who women are, what women do, is really simply projection from men onto women. Because, you've been told probably all your life, hey, Coach T, you've been told, or at least even if you haven't been told directly, you've heard all of your life that women are emotional. Women are not logical. Women are sensitive. Women are lazy. Women are users, and all of these different things, you've heard being a woman. You know what I'm saying? And Corey, you know what? I've already manifested that I would not get with a loser, buck broken, bed buck like yourself. That's why I'm married to somebody that actually likes me and is a decent human being, not like you, Corey. Okay? So I'm glad we're both manifesting the same thing. But seeing as though you don't have anybody, it looks like your manifesting isn't working. Anyway, as I was saying, I think that if you notice all of these things that have been told to black women, and not even just to black women, but to women in general, is not true. Like, I think we can all see that men like Corey are definitely more emotional, more sensitive, not logical, getting their feelings. These are all things that have been historically told to women. But I think a lot of times we have seen that these things are actually projection rooted in trying to make women feel bad. Because literally all of these topics that I'm talking about today was actually directed towards women. I just switched the gender and said everything that men said yesterday. And it's crazy because there were hundreds of people in that live panel, hundreds of men saying, yeah, bro, you're right, bro. You're right. Women are users. Women that don't pay for you, they're a user. They don't like you, bro. If they're not willing to do this, that, and the third. And it's crazy because y'all can say all of these things, and y'all can say it about women all day long, and y'all never go, people like Corey, they never go in these men's lives and say, hey, I'm manifesting that, you're not like this. I'm manifesting that men don't behave like this. They never say it. You know what I'm saying? They never do that. But anyway, as I was saying, I really do think that a lot of times women now have got to really understand that they have to unpack everything. Everything that they've been told, everything that they've been taught to believe about femininity and women and all of this is not true. It's projection. I think that from my experience, especially being online, coming into contact with a lot of men with the work that I do, men are highly emotional, highly sensitive, highly illogical. Don't do any research. Don't do any fact checking. Don't do any reading. And these are all things that are generally put on to women. And it's not true. And I think that a lot of times when it comes to submission, a lot of black women have been shamed. Adrian, I'll send you a request. You can get in the box, but I bet you won't. This is my job, just so you know, Adrian. But as I was saying, I think a lot of times black women have been shamed, to talk about submission and, following behind the men, things that black men do to make black women feel, like they're doing something wrong or like they're supposed to do everything the black man says. Because if you notice, I would say 99.999% of the time when a man says that he wants, especially a black man says that he wants submission from a black woman, he doesn't mean that he's going to take care of her. He doesn't mean that she's going to be a kept woman at the house, living in luxury while he goes to work and takes care of her. No, what he wants her to do is submit to madness. He wants her to be a doormat. He wants her to do everything he says without question in a negative way. He doesn't mean anything positive behind it at all. Anytime you hear a man, especially a black man, mention anything that has to do with submission, know that you are definitely in for a horrible, horrible ride. Because if you notice, BLK men have no problem being submissive to white T women. They don't ask them for submission. They let them call them the N-word. They do whatever these women say. They let them do. It's crazy. So let it be known here that BLK men will turn around and be submissive as long as your skin is not black. They only require submission from black women. Corey says, what's wrong with being emotional? I don't think there's anything wrong with being emotional, but seeing as though when black men become emotional, people end up going upstairs, or they end up being in the dirt, or they end up not being able to live anymore, then that's a problem. Because black men, when they get emotional, they're highly unregulated. And violence follows behind that emotion. Let's see here. Kelly, you said, did you see the interview with the pastor husband and the wife on my future? Kelly, I did a video about it, but I only did a video on my YouTube about the clip. I literally had to go back because people were telling me so much about the whole interview. I watched the whole interview, and I had to watch the interview on 2x speed because they were so stupid. But yes, I did. That lady was completely mentally broken. And she actually believed the BS that she was selling herself. And she only believed it because she's been brainwashed to believe that the black man that she has is a prize, and she is not. And that's exactly what I mean. That is what goes on in the black community with black women. The black men want black women to believe that they're a prize and that the black woman is really nothing and she's lucky if she's chosen. And when black women actually internalize and believe these things, that's how they're able to be taken advantage of. And it's so, it's sad and upsetting. You know what I'm saying? It really is. Because all it's rooted in is getting the black woman to accept mistreatment. It really is soldier for life. You can either get in the box and say it with your mouth and your voice, or you can leave. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing, supervillain? No problem, sis. I'm not uneducated. I think that you're just in your feelings because what I said is true.
I agree with some of it, actually. So it's not that
So
I'm
then if
in
you
my
agree
feelings,
with some of the
but
things that I said, then how am I
I will.
uneducated?
But
I heard you.
however,
No. However, answer what I said. How am I uneducated if you believe that some of the things that I said is correct? Please don't come up here and insult somebody and then think that you about to do the talking.
how could I have insulted you when I said I agree with you? How
You
can
said that I sound uneducated. That's not an insult. Or
everybody can
are
sound
you
uneducated?
uneducated?
Have you ever been in a room with people with degrees? Some of them still sound uneducated, even though they
Then
have
okay, then you're
master's degrees on
uneducated.
their
You look
roll.
uneducated, and you
Well,
can't
I
call
actually
somebody
have a master's
uneducated that you
degree.
don't agree
I
with.
actually have a
Like, get
master's
real.
degree.
I look, you either gonna apologize for insulting me or you
I
gonna
have a
go.
master's degree. I am a
All
30.
right, goodbye. Have a great day. I don't care what you got. I know that you got to agree. I know that you have a degree in idiotology because I know you didn't think that you were going to insult me and then you were going to come up here and I was going to listen to you and then you were going to say you agree with some of what I said. I don't sound uneducated. You're just in your feelings and you're mad at what I said. It's just that simple. And that's exactly what I'm talking about when I say that Black men a lot of times are emotional, highly emotional. You're in your feelings about what I said. Your mom's uneducated. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh. Because it's like, if you want to say that I'm uneducated, let me just go ahead and put the cherry on the top. We could just play immature kid games then. Your mom's uneducated. Yeah. You think I care what somebody that said soldier for life has to say about me? You think that a soldier is a good thing. A soldier means that you do what you're told like a robot. You're actually labor. You're actually fodder. You know what I'm saying? So why would I care about what you perceive about my education? Please stop the games. Stop the games. Go do what you're told. Go build something, all right? Go step on a landmine, but don't do me, baby. Cause isn't that what soldiers do? Y'all go out there, y'all get in the field, y'all get active. Y'all don't think, y'all just do. It doesn't matter if what you're doing is right or wrong, you do it. No, it's not that I couldn't defend myself, it's that you were disrespectful. I said you could apologize for saying something crazy in my comments and then thinking that I was actually going to listen to you. Okay, but anyway, let me just keep going because there's nothing else to say to this man. I'm only Wesso. You said you'll never know. You spelled no, N-O. No is K-N-O-W, just so that you know. You'll never know if a BM is red pill. I think that you will know because men that believe in red pill ideology, passport bros, MGTOW, all of these different offshoots of loser incel men, you'll know by simply the way they behave. Like is very obvious and very clear. You'll be able to tell. And the soldier, why would I be defending myself? Like, are we in a grudge match here? I don't got to defend myself against you. I could just block you and move forward. Go ahead, sir. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Please let me know how to.
It's Jai Premium.
Okay, Dry Premu.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Dry Premu.
And I want to stay close to your prompt, so I have to give my disclaimer. I try to make sense of that 1990 metaphorical, and I'm actually a blue pill person if you were to talk that conversation. But since you're talking about the red pill, I think more so away from men responsibility, especially the BLK, however we're supposed to say it on your platform.
Jai Premu, before you say what you're gonna say, I just
Yes.
want you to know that these topics were in reverse yesterday on TikTok. Men were saying everything that I just put on here. I just
Okay.
switched women. I switched women with men. So just so that you know.
Then now
Go
let
ahead.
me say this to you. I cannot quite understand what you might be talking about, but you have every opportunity to help me understand it. Because my perspective, when I told you I believe I'm the blue pill, I just believe that in relationship, the red pill situation is wild because not so much that man accept it, they're allowed to play in this wonderland. I play life in a reality. So when I hear this Remember, I will not come up here to contest you because I don't believe it's your actual reality. You're talking from the metaphorical point of it as it was introduced in the Matrix, right, in 1999. So, I mean,
No.
let me say, so I want to answer you by the prompt, and I'm going to start from the one on the bottom. Men that does not know how to lead what is real, the reality of things, plays to deception, plays to misuse. They play to this old fear that there's a better woman in a different category or a different group than their mother. And that's where I have problems with our categorizing ourselves as leaders, and then we look away from our mothers, characteristics to find or look for a similarity of our mother's characteristics, but don't never deal with this lady in her responsible reality world of reality. We sell them a fantasy. And so red pill does look ugly in that metaphorical behavior. Those men that follow that trait, that is ugly. They'll denounce their mother to appeal to you, but then don't quite have respect for women. And so that's a red pill version to me. When you don't respect women for anything, like they're patronizing you, but they're condescending in it. And we have to be careful. And you can help me on this. With the community where men are starting to change their identity, have you noticed they try to act like they're more empathetic than our mothers or our sisters or women in general?
Okay, you guys. I'm sorry. I just went ahead and respectfully dropped him. I don't know what the heck he was talking about. I honestly don't. And I think it was a bunch of word salad. And a lot of times men come up here and do that as well. And for the life of me, that drives me insane. I'd rather you come up here with energy like the Soldier for Life had. Ignorant energy, so that either I can block you or you can apologize for whatever you've done and then you can go ahead and speak. But that type of thing, no, absolutely not. I'm not gonna listen to that. Like, what the heck are you talking about, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not even really addressing what I'm talking about. Like, what? Like, no. No. Oh my gosh, like, what is going on? Coach T, you can go ahead. I'm sorry. This is so funny.
Hey, lovelies. Good morning, everybody. Happy Taurus season. Happy birthday to all the Tauruses today. Yeah, I don't know. Child, just the complete author of confusion. Just like, huh? Can't form together a coherent thought, like, can't string together an expression, like, but like, this is what women are talking about. That's why I don't want to say the red pill logic is confusing, because I don't think that as women we should be trying to like understand where they're coming from or their point of view, because it's just nonsense. Like, it's not gonna make sense because it's nonsense. It's not supposed to make sense. But also viewing the world through a man's lens as a woman, especially as a Black woman, is never going to help you at all. Ever going to help you at all in your personal life or your intimate relationships, your professional life. Is never going to help women as a whole. Just understand that when men are speaking on topics, they are always going to speak from their point of view, and they are never going to consider how what they're doing or saying is going to impact you. It's always going to be for their benefit. So just keep that in mind when men are talking. Like, they'll try to frame it like, oh, this is for the good of the community, or like women, when they love properly, don't listen to that. They lying. Like, it's a psyop. What is it? Fake news. It's a deep fake. It's AI. Don't listen to that. That man was AI. He was a bot. Like, it's not real. So don't even try to understand where they coming from. But when it comes to this topic, I know you're being facetious, but from my point of view and my perspective, especially as a Black woman, when we're talking about the gender pay gap and all those things, how men are being paid more than women for doing the same work or the same jobs, or even in industries like when you look at certain industries that are heavily male dominated, they're making more money. And it's not because like they're doing more work or they do better work than women. It's just because that they're men, just because that they have a benefit and they get a benefit and an advantage. So when it comes to navigating relationships from that perspective, women have to have that understanding of like the man that you're with is never going to have the level of expenses that you have, even if it's just like what they call the pink tax and you have to buy your feminine hygiene products every month. And if you really a baddie, you're going to be getting your hair done, you're going to be getting your nails done, you're going to be wanting to have a gym membership, you're going to want to go to the spa. And this is just like basic stuff, like basic things that as a woman you want to just enjoy your life. I want to be able to go to TJ Maxx and like give me a little treat, or I want to be able to go to get a pedicure, or I want to be able to get a large when he take me to McDonald's instead of having to get smaller to medium. Like just those sorts of things. I think that women don't take into consideration when in the relationship, outside of just the tangibles of like, if y'all have kids, you're going to be the primary caregiver. If y'all cohabitate, you're going to be the one cleaning. You're going to be doing the grocery shopping. You're going to be doing the cooking. You're going to be also managing his relationships with his family. Ask how many women, whether they're married or single mothers, how often they have to keep the lines of communication open between them and the father side of the family. You seen it with that mother who was unhoused and her kids unalived in the bed. The daddy gonna get on the TV and say, oh, well, if she needed help, she could have called my family. Why you ain't call your family if you knew she needed help? Like, so just those sorts of things women have to keep in mind, that when you see men speaking on a topic, they are always framing it for their benefit. They are never talking about you, ever.
Okay, all right, Coach T. I'm gonna go over here to Special K, and then I'll go to Chain and then Hugs. Go ahead. Go ahead, Special
So
K.
so the guy that was up there, he definitely was AI and he was malfunctioning because he couldn't figure out the right words to even say to even be able to even level with us and be on the same level, be on the same page with us. So yes, he was malfunctioning trying to find the right words to say that makes him look like he was different, from the other red pill men. In my opinion, that's how I feel. But I wanted to say a lot of times men, based on your topic, a lot of times men will say they want submission, but they want more of a submissive leader. They're not looking for to actually lead. They want you to do what they want you to do when they want you to do it, but then you got to make all the decisions in the household. You got to make all of the appointments. You got to manage the money. You got to be able to take care of the kids. You got to be able to cook and clean. You got to be able to decide where you want to eat at. you know they never take the lead, though they want you to be submissive. So you pick the restaurant. Say for instance, you pick the restaurant. Oh, I want to go to Wendy's. I'm just going to use that as an example. I want to go to Wendy's. They're like, well, yeah, you can go to Wendy's, but you can't spend this amount of money, or you can't spend that amount of money, rather than him picking the place that he can afford. So that's really what they want. They don't really want to lead. They don't. And then when it comes down to the red pill men, again, the signs that there are a lot of men that can mask and think and make you think that they're like these good dudes, and that you have your autonomy before or prior to you getting into a relationship. But the moment you do something outside of what they want you to do, that's when you start to see it. I know in my experience, say for instance, I get a job, and it's occupying like majority of my time, and I'm not able to spend time with that man. That man will have a fit. That man will go crazy, and instead of him, taking the lead and saying, hey, like, you need me to help you, with some bills, or you need me to help you do this, he's just going to sit there and he's going to tear you down, complain. He's going to do so many different crazy things. And that's how you kind of will start seeing, okay, I thought I was more independent in this relationship. There are definitely signs that will show you that that man is red pill. how he talks about his mother, how he talks about his friends' wives or girlfriends, how he talks to women, you know, the respect that he has for women in around him. You know, there's so many different signs of a man being red pill. Like they don't know how obvious they make themselves.
All right. I mean, I definitely agree with you. I definitely agree. I think that it's very clearly obvious to maybe everyone else except for them that that's the type of ideology and time they're on. I think it's not only the ideology that makes you able to tell them, but it's also the attitude and the spirit. It's so obvious and it's so off-putting. And that's the reason why most of the time they're either alone or they have to find somebody that they can prey on. They might go overseas and prey on a young girl that has no way out, or they'll prey on women that are so desperate for male validation that they will accept that type of behavior. But let me go down and give everybody 2 minutes to speak so that we can get through everybody that's here. Go ahead, Chain. Hopefully I'm saying your name right.
Yeah,
If
you
I'm
actually
not, let
did
me
say it
know.
right. That's cool. I appreciate that.
Okay.
I would say that I'm a guy that advocates for red pill, and I think a lot of it from my own perspective is having dominion and control over yourself. More so, most importantly for me, growing up having control of myself emotionally.
Boo, red pill,
Um,
boo.
but I think that it's important to have a certain level of control over yourself emotionally, financially, spiritually, um, mentally, and you have to be in a certain place of alignment to even consider being in a relationship. You know what I mean?
Are you in a
Um,
relationship?
yeah.
How long have you been in the relationship, or are you married?
So I was married. I was married for 14 years, and with my new lady, and we're on 6 years now.
Okay, you guys are married?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, two things. Number one, I wanted to say that this topic is just in reverse of what men were doing yesterday about women. I just took all of their topics and flipped it and put men on there. So that's number
Mhm.
one. Number two, I don't know what red pill has to do with, like, what you were talking about, like regulation and all of that. I don't see that. I just see a whole bunch of men that, just like Coach T was saying earlier, trying to frame relationships in a way that it strictly is only beneficial to the man. And then it's simultaneously trying to dangle protection and provision over a woman's head by doing none of it, by doing none of those things. And I just think that, generally speaking, not even general, let me not even be dishonest here. Always speaking, men that agree with that type of ideology are always noticeably unattractive. And I think that that's also an issue, that the type of men that are drawn to that type of ideology are men that cannot have successful partnerships, or their partnerships fail because of the type of ideology that they have. But I didn't know if you were finished, Shane. If you are, I'll move forward. But if you're not, I'll give you a chance to speak further, because you kind of just stopped talking. But if you have something else to say, you can.
I think a lot of the description of the kind of men that you're describing, to me, they sound like imposters. You know what I mean? That doesn't personally align with the beliefs that I personally have, as far as when it comes to being consistent or being responsible or having control of yourself emotionally.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. What about red pill do you agree with that attracted you to saying that you are?
Emotional control and having boundaries. Being comfortable with saying no to certain things. If it doesn't align for you, it doesn't align for you. Having the courage to be able to walk away if it
Saying no
doesn't
to
align.
what?
I'm sorry.
Saying no to what?
Um, you know, Personal boundary things. Something you don't personally agree with. Hey, I'm not comfortable with that. Being comfortable with saying, I'm okay. I'm not comfortable with that.
I
You
don't think
know.
that's red pill. I think that's just human nature. So I would say, what do you think that you align with that's like a popular red pill ideology that would make you say, yeah, I definitely am red pill? Like, what of the ideology of it that you agree with that would make you say, yeah, you align with it?
I'm probably a certain aspect of having emotional control. I know what I was like when I was
I
like,
don't think emotional control is an earmark of red pill. some of the most unhinged and psychotic men that I've ever come across in my life online have been, advocates of red pill. So I'm confused as to what you're saying. Like, do you believe in, women going 50-50? Do you believe in the man,
No, I believe
leading the
in
woman,
100%.
or like what exactly do you agree with that?
I personally believe in being 100% personally.
Okay. All right, Chain. All right, I'm gonna move forward. I'm gonna go to Hug, or I don't know if that's your name, Hug, but
Yeah, you can just say hug.
okay, go ahead, Hug.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, so the first statement that they are all users, it just doesn't. I think real women pay 50-50. That's my belief. As for the red pill thing, I kind of do agree with red pill quite a lot because what does it say? It just says
Hey,
don't
Hug,
wife up.
I hear an accent, Hug. Are you African, Black American, or something like that?
The UK.
Okay, but you're a Black Brit then?
You could say that, yeah.
I could say that, or are you that? Well, what's your parents?
It's a mixture. It's not exactly.
Okay, goodbye. Have a great day. Don't want to hear it. That means no. All right.
He
Don't
sounded
want to
like
hear your
he sounded
perspective.
like a baby, like he was like 20.
Yeah. I'm like, no, I don't want to hear your perspective. I knew that you weren't, but yeah. So let me just say this is that he said real women go 50-50. And I'll just say this. He's right. Real women do go 50-50. Really stupid women go 50-50. So I'm sorry. You missed one word in between. You missed one word in between there. Go ahead, T. Go ahead.
Morning, ladies. What's going on?
Good morning, sis.
Now, you know dang well when I heard that real women pay 50-50, I'm like, wow, what he said? Now I'm up. I was just sipping my coffee and everything, and I was like, did this motherfucker say real women go 50-50? No. Okay, so this is what I have gathered when it comes to red pill men. Red pill men are basically the reverse effect, the reverse like kind of reaction how women have they pick of the litter. These men are upset that they don't have the options like women have. So what they have done was came up with a little boys only club to punish women. That is why the premise of their little club is to what? Level up, get your money right. To if you're fat, you gotta lose weight to get up in the gym and get your money up so you can be that desired man that women will want. That's what their little boys club is all about. It's about getting coochie. And you realize a lot of them like to run around and like to tell women how undesirable they are because, or reality, they are undesirable. These are a bunch of losers that all their lives they've been rejected. All their lives they have seen men that look better than them, men that had more money than them, get the women that they want, and they had to sit there and watch. And there was nothing they can do about it. So instead of just becoming a better person and figure out why you don't get no relationships, they decide to basically be the bad guy of the movie. They become basically the new villain. You ever saw I don't know if you're in the comic books or whatever, but you ever saw when the good guy do something and they show the camera and they show the villain stand up and they show they fist clenching like, oh, you made a new enemy, Spider-Man. That's literally what they have become. They just basically become the new villain. As soon as they see the woman of their dreams go with a man, and instead of projecting all that, instead of being basically just upset with the man, they project all of that anger out on women. It's kind of like the Revenge of the Nerds kind of atmosphere that they have created. A lot of those dudes like I said, they like to run around and tell women that they undesirable because they was the ones that always have been undesirable, telling women, well, remember, if you're out of shape, you're not going to get no man. That's because they had to get in shape. You had no choice, sir. You had no choice but to so-called level up, because where a woman you gotta fly to get to a woman gotta walk to. And I say that all the time. I say that to red pills that come up on my panel all the time. You gotta fly to get to where I gotta walk, bro. Your whole life you had to dedicate yourself into making yourself better, work on your self-image because you need a woman. You cannot stand the idea that you are single. You cannot stand the idea that no woman likes you. You cannot stand the idea that you are the one going to unalive alone with your cats. So what you want to do is project all of these feelings on women as some sort of get back, like it's like a get back at women. That's
Oh,
why
you
a
know
lot
what?
of these TV shows, you notice,
Hey,
not
T.
TV shows, but what's up?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to interject real quick because I didn't want to forget. Just like what you was saying about the men and how they have to fly to where we have to walk to, which I definitely agree with. I just wanted to say is that a lot of times these men, you know, they talk about the fact that they're logical and all of those type of things, and they look at science and all of these things, but if they were really logical, like at science and all of these things, but if they were really logical like they say they are, and they really looked at the science of things like they say they do, they would see that there are so many studies that point to the fact that men, so many studies that point to the fact that men indeed, first of all, benefit from marriage and partnership with a woman the most, way more than women do. The fact that men are extremely lonely, they have very poor life outcomes and poor mental health when they don't have a woman in their life. The fact that them actually having a woman in their life extends their life. The fact that a lot of women that are not married, that are not partnered up, that are single, have way more of a healthy mental state than men ever have being alone, because women are able to be alone and flourish and men are not. And this is not my opinion. These are scientific facts based on research that they have shown, as so many different articles, so many different studies and
Yep.
things that you can look at. So at the end of the day, these men want to be the prize, but they're not the prize. These men
Exactly.
want to lie to women and tell them, give them a false reality when it's really them that need all of that. But you
Yes.
can go ahead. You can go ahead.
No, I'm agreeing with you 110%. That's usually, that type of study is conducted by sociologists. And they the ones who came up with the conclusion through various years of studies that women are more happy being single than they are in a marriage, because a lot of these dudes that want to be married to a woman, they want someone to prioritize them. They basically need another mommy. These red pill men consistently need a stroke. They need someone to stroke their ego. They need someone to make them feel good. And this is, the proof is in the pudding. Because if all you red pill men feel like y'all are the prize and these women are not, why your target audience are always the so-called women that y'all don't want? That makes no sense. If you have your pick of the litter, if you have the women of your dreams on your arms, why are you directing your attention to the women that you do not want? Just like I don't direct my attention to broke men. I don't like broke men. I don't believe in no 50-50 concept. If you ain't got no money, then straight up and down, you ain't worth my time. So when I do my lives, my target audience is not broke
16
men.
for you bitches.
Look, see, there you go. There you go right there. There goes a red pill attitude right there. He coming
You
here
know what?
with his sexual
Let me just say
frustration.
this, Carter,
Right there. Right there.
Carter. I really need you.
We love the TikTok
The
shop.
fact
TikTok,
that
we
you
love
feel,
you.
the fact that you feel like you getting in the box and you asking, can you come up, and you saying a cuss word is really gonna do something. That just let me know a lot of y'all live in delusion. Like all the women that are up here are black women. If you think that none of us have been disrespected by a black man before, you got to be delusional. Do you think that any of us have not been called the B word by a black man? So do you think that this is shocking that y'all have no emotional regulation? Do you think it's shocking that y'all are disrespectful? Do you think it's shocking that y'all don't know how to treat women and that y'all are ignorant? I was about to say something, but I don't think I can say it on TikTok. Do y'all think that we are shocked that y'all are ignorant bedbugs? Y'all go and represent yourselves to be that way everywhere that y'all go. Y'all unalive black women the most out of any other racial demographic of men. Y'all put hands on y'all women the most. Y'all put y'all women in the dirt the most. Y'all unalive y'all women while pregnant the most. Y'all the most disrespectful. I sat there and watched a video of a non-black man calling black women the N-word with the hard R, and 3 black men sit at the table and not say nothing. Not only not say nothing, but then repeat the racial slur that this non-black man said to them, and still sit there like weak bedbugs. So, I mean, you got to get real. Like, you calling us a B really means nothing. We already know that y'all are disrespectful. We already know that y'all don't have no couth and y'all are ignorant. And when y'all go places, y'all bring misery and ignorance and violence and just basically out of pocket behavior on the most part. That's just what everybody knows. And if y'all come somewhere at a party, we got to be scared because somebody might pew the place up. Somebody might not make it. So I just, when y'all prove everything right that people are saying about y'all, it's really embarrassing for y'all, because at this point, like, we don't got to say a word. We don't have to say nothing. All we have to do is just let y'all expose yourselves. And that's downright embarrassing. Like, you should be embarrassed by that. And then the fact
They
that you
are,
didn't
they
even,
not.
it's
But that's the
crazy.
thing, they are. And here's another little snippet I'm gonna say before I mute up. A black man being a red pill doesn't make any sense, because we all know the red pill ideology was rooted in white supremacy. We already know that. And so when I hear black men talking about red pill talking points, first of all, your reality is not the white teen man's reality. One, you ain't got the money to back. You ain't got the money to have half the complaint. You don't have the money. The white tea men are basically saying, listen, white tea women, if we're working, paying all the bills, you got to do your part and have children. And it's your duty to make babies with us to preserve the white tea race. That is the whole point, because you already know they curse and they can't have no babies. So that is the whole point why they are pushing hard to pass legislation to basically control women's body, because at the end of the day, we're not the target. That white tea woman is the target. Her wound is the target, not ours. So when they have all these talking points, what they're saying is basically about white tea men trying to preserve their culture. They're trying to keep their race afloat. And that's why they are gunning after their women, saying that you have to be with us. You cannot have no shmushmoshins. You need to marry us. That has nothing to do with black men, because first of all, black men don't have a system. They have philosophy, because nothing that they have came up with works. It doesn't make any sense. They will sit there and tell black women, we got to go 50-50 because, to make up the fact that they're broke, to make up the fact that they're lazy, to become that 6-figure earning high caliber man. That's going to take their life. That's going to take an entire lifetime, if not 2 lifetimes, to become that type of man. And they lack the patience, and they definitely lack the education and the drive to become that man. So the next best thing to do is to tell women, you have to lower yourself and dig at our self-esteem. So this way we don't know our self-worth. So they will get with these bed bugs. That's the whole point. Why are they throwing these talking points? Because like I said, if you are the prize, why your target audience are talking to women that are not, quote unquote, the prize? That makes no sense.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I also think that it's very embarrassing that oftentimes black men follow right behind the white tea man and the things that he tells them, because red pill was started and originated by a white tea man. And just like DW was saying in the comments, the majority of white tea red pill men are indeed racist, highly racist against black men. And it's so embarrassing that time and time again, black men cannot stand on their own. It's bad enough that black men have no social network in place, no strides for anything, no hospitals, no schools, no communities all over the United States where black men are in charge, black men are calling the shots. None of these things black men have created for themselves or for the women in their community or for their children. However, they are willing to follow behind the ideology of white men, also willing to follow behind the ideology of white tea women. Let them call them the N-word, race play with them, be their bed buck and bed bug, be everything that they want them to be super submissive when it comes to them, take the bass out of their voice and everything. And it's very embarrassing that I don't see black men having any type of original thought. You have to go behind the white tea man for everything, but then talk about you're the most desirable and strong man on the planet. That's not true. Strong men do things on their own. They don't need their women to pay the bills for them, nor do they need to find the ideology of a race of people that hated them. and ate them for dinner. It's absolutely insane to me. And I just, for me, I wouldn't even mind at this point if whatever ideology black men came up was bogus. At least have some independent individual thought of your own and stop running behind the white T man. You run behind his daughters and say that they're the best. You say, hey, I'm sorry, white T man. My women and my daughters are ugly. They not the best. They mean and masculine. Why these white T women do whatever they want to you? They lie on you. They destroy you. They destroy your careers and things that you have done. But still, they're the better choice because y'all hate yourselves. Y'all don't love yourselves, and it's so embarrassing to me. And I just long for the day that black men can do something on their own that doesn't involve standing on the backs of black women to do it. But like I said, who knows if it'll happen? You know what I'm saying? And for anybody to say, well, that's not every single solitary black man. We're talking about the collective, not individual black men, because there are individual black men that may be able to do something, but there's not enough of those men around to stand up against the general collective of lazy, shiftless black men that would rather go ahead and ride the backs of white T men and their privilege just simply by being a man, which is, like I said, it's embarrassing. Go ahead, supervillain. If you have something to say, sis.
Yes, good morning, Trig. Y'all tap the screen. It's free. Let's get her the likes that she deserves. I just wanted to comment on the first and the second prompt, if I can, real briefly. I'm gonna say this. I am a frequenter, actually head mod at T Scorpio's lives, where she talks about marrying men as a business deal before love. I just want to say this to the women who, incline themselves with being in relationships. I don't know why, but there's a lot of y'all, and I still love y'all anyway. That a man does not have to love you to pay your bills, but if he is not paying your bills, he most definitely does not love you. When these men talk about 50-50, that's their way of practicing hypergamy. He's using that other 50 that he's saving to pay another woman's bills. They're absolutely paying someone's bills. It just won't be yours if you're doing 50-50 with him. Y'all should be making these men pay for everything. They shouldn't have any disposable income, because if they do, they are most likely, again, paying another person's bill. My thing is, whenever we talk about securing the bag, and that's for my ladies that I represent, you know me again, I am single and will never be ready to mingle. But when they always bring up love, when my women, my fellow ladies are trying to talk about securing the bag, I just want y'all to think about this. And I say this all the time. That love that they talk about is supposed to keep you hungry when he can't feed you, keep you warm when he can't pay that $100 utility bill, right? Keep you sheltered when y'all living under the bridge. That love is supposed to be so strong and hold you down. But that same love he can't use to, I don't know, muster up enough energy to get a second or third job. You see how these men come up here, Trig, and all rah, rah, rah? That's because they need a second or third job. They got way too much energy. Trig, I've seen your husband on the panel, and he is always calm, even when these guys get crazy. That's probably because he's working and holding it down.
Girl,
These men,
you know what? He is a calm person in general. I'm
okay.
like I get way more like out of pocket or high strung than he does. He's very calm.
You do be tearing it up in here. I ain't gonna.
He is so calm.
But these other men, they need a second or third job. They have way too much. They come up here rah 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 with all that energy. I'm like, this man should be using all that energy at another job, paying his wife bills or his girlfriend bills or his side chick bills. They come up here with too much energy, and I don't like it. Way too much energy. I want to say to the submission part with black men, it's really disappointing, because the history of black women, we being here, being on birthing farms, working since the day we set foot on this land during enslavement. I'm not talking about the black people that were here before slavery, but I'm talking about our enslaved slavery. But I'm talking about our enslaved ancestors have always worked. For black men to ask for submission for black women instead of wanting them to be free is really disgusting. It's really disgusting. Just like the education, we have they made it a huge effort for us to not be educated. And the first thing, when black women are the most educated in this time, the first thing that these black men say is that education doesn't matter. It's disgusting. I really sometimes think that a lot of these black men, I like to call them KKK, Ku Klux Klans, they are really a white supremacist wet dream at this point. The way that they talk about black women, I swear a group of white supremacists be in a hallway circle jerking the way that these black men talk about black women. It's really, really sad and disappointing. And I just think, just in general, black men asking black women for submission with the history of this country is really disgusting. The only thing a black man should want for a black woman is for her to be free. And I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you.
All
I
right,
yield to.
super villain. All right, no problem. Okay, I'm gonna go up here and let everybody else speak again. I'll give you guys just 2 minutes each. That way I can get through everybody. Go ahead, Coach T.
Hey, yeah, I agree with they got too much energy, and I think it's because they not stressed enough about having to dodge the draft. Like they used to have to go off the wars and stuff. So I just think that the men have become aimless and shiftless and purposeless and valueless, and so they are clinging to the red pill ideology as a means to find some kind of purpose to their life, but it's like they hustling backwards because the purpose that they're trying to find through to their lives is through women, and that's not how it works. So they're failing and flailing, to quote a content creator, because we don't live in that society anymore, like I said, where they have to go off to wars, and they're expected to show up and perform in a certain way. This even applies to black men. Black American men have fought in each and every American war, even as slaves. And so even they are being lured into the red pill because they have the same experience in reality of white American men, but they don't. It's like they're hating from outside of the club and they can't get in. So the whole red pill ideology is never going to make sense for them. Like T Scorpio said, like y'all will never be able to be successful in that, in the same way that I believe what they call it, the WASP, the white Anglo-Saxon Saxon Protestants, the white people, the blonde hair, blue eyed people. And that is their measure of success. That's what they're looking to. And I want to reiterate to women, especially black women, to have that understanding when they hear black men speaking on these topics and these subjects of things like a submission. I just made a video about this, especially when it comes to black women. We are I think we the most degreed or educated demographics in America. You will never be able to fully submit to a man because you're too smart. You have too much education. Your brain works too good. You will never be able to just follow blindly. And black men do not like being questioned. They don't want to be asked or tasked with having to explain themselves because it's smoke and mirrors. It's perfect example is like Dr. Umar. He been begging for donations for a school that he talk about he gonna keep opening. That school ain't never gonna open, and he know it's a scam. So black women understand that all of this is a horse and pony show. Like all of it is for play. When they be talking about coming together and solutions and building the community, no, they mean you gonna build the community and then they're gonna come in and ravage it like they've always done and then expect you to keep building and rebuilding, building and rebuilding. Stop falling for the okie doke.
Okay, all right, Coach C. I wanted to respond real quick to somebody in the comments, just 2 seconds. Cosmic Entity. He said that black women have been talking about black men for 50 years, and then he starts mentioning daytime TV. I really need you to get a grip because the fact that a lot of y'all refuse to do any type of research, that's what is very strange to me because y'all feel so passionately about things that y'all have not researched. Number one, you tell me what popular talk show host. If we could talk about Oprah, we could talk about what's the one black lady that was on, Rolanda. I think her name was Rolanda. And I can't really think of too many other black women that had talk shows. If you're talking about in the 90s or early 2000s, like Tyra or, you know, I think Queen Latifah had a talk show that said open things about black men. There were no shows where a black woman came up and said that all black men are losers, all black men are feminine, all black men have nappy hair, all black men this, that, and the third. However, right now, anywhere you go, anywhere you can look, you can find a plethora of black men saying things like that. There are Jet magazines literally from the 1940s and 50s on the front of the magazines, which I have them still screenshotted in my phone. I can go look and put them up where it says, are Asian women the new black woman? Are white women the new black woman? Are they the black man's match? And all of these things that y'all were putting down black women way back then. So please stop acting like these are new philosophies, or this is a new phenomenon that black men were completely silent and black women were just using and abusing them and talking about them everywhere. It's not true. And there is a digital footprint that you can use if you would just look and find out that what you're saying is completely inaccurate and wrong. Okay. And you guys have always been the most vocal with the abuse and disrespect of the women that you come from. That's the reason why a black woman is 6 times more likely to be unalive. Y'all got to get real. And that's the reason why I like to talk about actual real things that can be actually quantified than just saying things that are fake and are not real. So y'all got to get real. You won't win this battle because it's not true what you're saying. But anyway, let me move forward. I'll give you 2 minutes, everybody 2 minutes, so that we can get to all these people in the panel. Go ahead, Special K.
I just wanted to agree with something that you said about women being, being better single, and living their best life when they're single. Because I know just plenty of women, whenever they end up in a relationship, like before they're in a relationship, they're doing good, they're working out, they're losing weight, they're eating better, doing whatever, they're doing better. But as soon as they get a man in their life, he comes in like a bulldozer and just tears her whole life up. And I don't understand what that is or why that is that it happens that way, but it just seems like it is from the statistic that yes, women do flourish when they are single. And I don't understand why a man would be unhappy with women being single for so long, because that means that woman is going to be at her best when it actually is time for her to get into a relationship with the right man, but most definitely until men get well, because it's too much going on. I just had a friend who was dating a guy. She was giving a guy a chance that she probably wouldn't have dated before, and she only knew him for 2 months. She was over.
I'm sorry, you guys. Hold on. I messed up. Hold on. Let me see how I can get this. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kamisha. Go ahead, Special K. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So yeah, and I just had a friend of mine when she would go over to her boyfriend's house, he would never want her to leave and go back to her home. So this last time when she was ready to go home, this man pulled a who on her and didn't want her to leave. Like I tell women all the time, do what you need to do for yourself right now, because right now these men are not well. And I've learned so much, just even being able to be in community with women, even on social media, that we got to come together, we got to stick together. We can't keep worrying about if we're single, we can't keep worrying about relationships. We got to worry about ourselves more than anything. So until these men are well and they've gotten some therapy, we all just need to be single for sure. If you're not married, and if you are married, just make sure that you're not doing what that pastor was doing with her husband, where she was ironing out his clothes and all of those different things for him to go and cheat on her. So these men are not well, and I'm just going to keep saying it.
All right. Okay. I was gonna do like the Showtime, that way everybody could get it, but I don't know if it will reboot everybody and start from the very beginning. So I'll just let everybody go. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'll just let everybody speak first, and then we'll to siphon it back over. We'll do it after everybody gets a chance to speak. So I'll give everybody 2 minutes. Like I said, go ahead, Chain, if you had something to say.
Yeah, I would say that I think that a lot of it is based on emotional intelligence. You know, a lot of the things that I've been listening to you ladies talk about in regards to men sounds like really overly emotional men that don't have self control or self discipline. You know, and I think that it takes time to get those things. You know, I think one of the problems is that a lot of young men lack a certain level of discipline, and I think their priorities are out of order. You know, in the sense of like wanting to be eager to jump into relationships without even really truly being aware of what it really means to be in a relationship. As far as as far as what it means to be a provider, what it means to be consistent. I think we kind of got stuck in this whole thing of like wanting to be in a relationship when we're young, so that way we could be old and and pass away together. You know what I mean? But I think it's just unrealistic. I don't think that a 22-year-old man really can do anything for a 22-year-old woman, because he's just getting out of college. He doesn't have credit. He doesn't have a career. He probably has a job. He doesn't own his house. He's probably in a financing car, but probably doesn't own a car. Then there's a lot that, I mean, even just with the sense of having families, right? I don't think that you need a job. I think that you need to have a career to be able to start a family, and I think a lot of people are in a place where they have jobs and then they set themselves up for failure. Me personally, I'm a business owner myself, and I hire a lot of people in my community, both mainly a lot of black men, and a lot of black women, to kind of counterbalance a lot of things that we encounter in our society. So I think a lot, for me, my personal belief is that, those type of men, the overly emotional, haven't actually reached that stage in their lives. I'm sorry that that you ladies have had to deal with those type of men, but I do think that there is a certain level, something needs to be said about discipline and consistency.
What about the men who don't like want to have relationships with women? Like their ultimate goal is not marriage and family. What is the advice for them from your red pill perspective?
Um, I think that men, I don't know. I would say that I think that's something, it takes time to really, if you want a successful relationship, like obviously there's no guarantees, but to
No,
increase the
I'm saying like
likelihood.
how a lot of women are saying, I don't want to be married, I don't want to have children. What about the men who don't want to be married or have children and families? What is the red pill frame or ideology or lens that they should be following in their lives?
Build themselves up, put yourselves in a position to be able to own your house. The things I was saying a little bit earlier, it's really about priority. You can't do anything for anybody else if you can't do nothing for yourself, right? So getting in that place, whether that's emotional, spiritually, financially, being in alignment. If you don't want to be in a relationship, you don't have to be in a relationship. No one's, forcing anyone to be in a relationship. It's just about where your priorities lie. If you're a person that, you don't want to be in a relationship and you're like bullshitting your life away and you don't have any priorities in order, then, then you are out of whack and you're just making excuses for why you are in the situation that you're in.
Yeah, Coach T, Coach T, I don't know if Chain is the best person to answer that question. I think he mentioned that he is with his girlfriend for 6 years. So I don't know if he's necessarily marriage minded at this point either. But
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering because they keep like I hear a lot of it talk about like, oh, get in a relationship, get married, you got to support your family, but it's like, okay, well, what about the people who don't want that? What is the ideology based on?
And you know what? I agree with you. I know why you're asking the questions, but I think that a lot of times in Red Pill, they don't tell the truth about a lot of things. Like when he mentioned like a 22-year-old girl, there's nothing that a 22-year-old man can do for her, which is really indicative of saying, oh, she's supposed to be with some old crusty, dusty old man that's on Viagra because he can pay her bills, when the majority of the time these older men also don't have any money. I think that they need to like tell the truth that the majority of black men, regardless of how old they ever get, they will never have the bread to take care of a 22-year-old girl and completely finance her whole lifestyle to where it makes it acceptable for her to sit there and see his old wrinkled up body and her to waste her youth on him. It's just that simple. And most of the time, even if a black man does have money and he is entertaining a 22-year-old woman, he's a Shannon Sharp, an old, disrespectful loser that is only trying to siphon and energy vampire the youth off of young people, but he has no good intentions for her. He's not trying to make her his wife. He's not
Who are
trying to
these
until he
people
has
you referencing?
nothing
Like
in
who?
common with her.
Obviously you.
Yes.
Obviously you.
So I think that we have to admit the truth a lot of times, because these young girls do not want these older men. They don't. I know older men like to lie to themselves and tell themselves that. But if they didn't have any money, these girls wouldn't be interested. And most of the time, these girls aren't interested anyway. So that I think that's a very big, a problem with red pill is that it helps men to live in delusion about the type of men they are, about who wants them. Because are you really valuable if the only reason why a woman wants to be in your face is because you're paying her? No, because anybody can get anything if they have the money to pay for it, including a so-called low value older woman. Anybody can get anybody if they're willing to come up out the pocket for it. So it's just pure delusion. But let me keep moving forward. Go ahead, T, and then I'll give everybody 2 minutes once again, so that we can get through. Go ahead, T.
Yeah, we all know these men are not marriage minded, but they paint the delusion that they are, because when you go down that hill of marriage, they never talking about illegal marriage. They talking about shacking up like no disrespect, the gentleman next to me is doing. Rather we want to admit it or not, that's shacking up. 6 years living in the same house. If they are, I don't know their situation, but I'm just going to say it's generally that if you living with a man, first of all, you have no business moving in with no man and paying his bills. You have no reason to do that. You have no reason to move in with a man until after he marry you anyways, and especially he's supposed to be paying all the bills. There is no way. If you're living with a man, you paying half the bills. That is not your man. That is your roommate that you giving free oochie coochie to. You done lost big time. He's gaining all the benefits. He's getting free coochie and he's getting his bills paid. While meanwhile, he is pursuing the woman of his dreams while you are a placeholder. That's I just got to throw that out there. These men are not talking about the legalities of marriage. These men believe in shacking up because these men like to, shack up. They like to mention how devastating the legal system is. If you get married, a woman take half of your shit. So they are not talking about illegal marriage. They talking about spiritual marriages, so-called spiritual marriages, or shacking up. These men are not marriage minded, because if a man that loves you and believes that he should protect you, he would make sure you are his next of kin legally. So if anything ever happens to him, you're taken care of. These men want to control you when they're alive and even when they're unalive, and leave you in destitute with nothing. They expect you to be with them for 20 something years and then just walk away without no type of legal accountability, ladies. So when these men talk about marriage, you make sure anytime you're on any panel, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, these men talk about marriage, ask them what kind of marriage you're talking about, legal marriage or spiritual marriage, because that's the number one indicator what their mindset is, and they are a big red flag. Okay.
All right. I'm gonna go over here to Supervillain and then Jay. Go ahead, Supervillain.
See, I love you. I love when she asks what kind of marriage, because they really do be playing on our top with that. Legal marriage or spiritual marriage. Y'all gotta tell the truth. And if you are gonna engage in marriage, make sure it's legal, ladies. They really try to get over. I do want to say this when it comes to the men not paying the bill, the 50-50 thing. If you're going to participate in something patriarchal called marriage, ladies, make it advantageous. Make sure you are getting yours out of the deal, because marriage will always benefit men. This is why rich men continue to get married. They get married over and over and over again. If you notice, most women get married once or twice and keep it moving. They're fine for the rest of their lives. But there's something that a woman brings to a marriage that a man cannot get anywhere else but through marriage, or else he would just buy it and not be married. This is why we have to understand that their proximity to us is very expensive, and y'all need to make them pay for it. There's nothing wrong with that. If something is valuable to a man, he will pay for it. And again, we're not armed robbers over here, like I always like to say. We're not twisting anybody's arm. We're talking to the men who actually see women, think, wow, what great value, and want to spend money. If you are not the type of man who sees a woman's value and the first thing you think is, man, I want to take care of her, I want to make her mine. If the first thing you think about is, I'm going to calculate my checkbook and make sure I don't give her no money, then we're not talking to you. You're safe.
Yeah.
Nobody, again, is an armed robber over here. Nobody's twisting your arm, right? We're not talking to you. You're not the target. I particularly don't even want to get married. You don't see me telling women, don't do this, don't do that. I just encourage them to make sure they do it in the best way they can. So those men who are windmilling, mad that we're talking about women securing the bag, you're okay. I promise you'll find 2 to 3 women who won't make you spend that money. We're talking about the men who want to spend money. We're talking about the men who've had such a good experience with women that they want to make sure the next woman they experience is living the life she dreams of. See, a problem is, Trig, a lot of these men have never encountered the woman of their dreams. There's no way you're telling me you're going to be a cheapskate with the woman of your dreams. So if you are with a woman right now and you're not paying her bills and you're not inclined or you're not willing to get a second or third job to pay her bills, spoiler alert, you probably don't love her. You don't love her. And ladies, if he's definitely not on his second or third job trying to pay your bills, if he's trying to stick to that one job and making you do 50-50, he especially don't love you. Because again, like I said, that love that's supposed to keep you full when he can't take you out to eat, keep you warm when he can't pay that utility bill. It's supposed to be strong enough to keep you covered when you're living under a bridge. But it just happens not to be strong enough
Well, I'm
for him
sorry,
not to get a
Supervillain.
second
I
job.
have to interrupt you because one, you're saying false. She is taking applications. If you are a 101-year-old billionaire, 1 foot in the grave, and you just want a woman to keep you happy in your last days, Supervillain is the
T
wife for
just
you.
outed me. T
She
just
is the
outed
wife
me.
for you.
Y'all need to stop it. Y'all,
She's the
both of
wife for
y'all need
you.
to stop it.
Listen, we ain't trying to be like
T
rich.
just
We ain't
outed
trying to
me. Oh
be.
my goodness.
We don't want to be a rich man's wife. We want to be a rich man's widow. You got to be
Both of
out the
y'all
door.
stop it.
Okay, Trick, I'm going to say this. Y'all didn't catch me one time, so get y'all screen recording ready. I do want to be part of T's Widow Club, and I am taking applications, but it's
Widows Club.
666. It's 666. You got to have 6 years recorded of ED. You got to have a 6-figure pension, and you got to have 6 years or less on your way out. I can't do it. If you are not on your way out in 6 years or less, I can't do it. So that's my 666, and I'm
Y'all
gonna
gotta
yield right
stop
there.
it. Y'all gotta stop it. But I did wanna Jay Polo in the comments, I asked you if you were married. You said no. You said that you saw no upside to it. And I think that that's a perfect example. Jay's a perfect example of what type of man the red pill attracts. You know what I'm saying? Also, it's applicable to the third one that Black men that are red pill are noticeably unattractive. But I think that a lot of times they have bitter feelings towards women and are not able to secure or keep women because a smart man, just like how Supervillain was saying earlier, would realize that actually there is an upside to marriage, scientifically speaking. Not just anybody's feelings or anything about what we think, but scientifically
Would
speaking,
you
it's
care
very
to
beneficial.
enlighten me? Can you share what are the upsides?
Sure. Scientific studies have said that not just Black men, either white men, Black men, Indian men, Asian men, they benefit mentally from having a wife. They have higher mental health outcomes. They have a better health outcomes. They live longer. They're happier. They feel more
Fear
fulfilled
is
and more content.
subjective.
It's not subjective. Scientific studies have showed that the majority of men that are in partnerships, marriages with women benefit and flourish. However, men that are single and solitary and do not have partners have a shorter life expectancy. And that's very important when it comes to Black men, because Black men have the poorest health outcomes in the United States of any group, any demographic, any of the men, over women, everybody. You live the shortest amount of time and have the poorest health because you don't go to the doctor, you don't get yourself checked out. And that's exactly one of the reasons why Black men benefit wholeheartedly when they are partnered up with a woman. Because she says, hey, you need to go to the doctor. You need to get that cholesterol checked. You need to go get your colon checked. You need to go do this, that, and the third. It is absolutely
You're really
a
driving
fact.
this point home. Is there a second benefit other than living longer potentially?
Wouldn't you
Pulled it
think
up.
that
That
just
I
one
just pulled it
second,
up.
wouldn't you think that living longer would be a benefit? Because if you're not living, then where are
I
you?
agreed. I
So then what are
agreed,
we
but I
talking
simply said it
about
was
then?
one.
I
It's
told
just
you
one
also
thing,
mental
though.
health
So I'm
outcomes.
asking, is there
Hey,
anything
excuse me, sir.
else?
I just told you mental health outcomes as well. And also when it
Hey,
comes,
that's one thing. So
okay,
what
please don't
else? Is what?
interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. And once we
I mean,
talk
I'm
about,
trying to be respectful.
okay,
You not.
you're not being respectful, but you about to get your ass dropped. So make sure that you don't unmute yourself again. As I was saying, mental health and well-being is not the same as life expectancy. So those are two things right there. Now let me give you another one. Black men are broke and poor and don't make a lot compared to other races and demographics of men. Now, I don't recommend this for any black woman. However, black women that are in partnerships and marriages with black men, a lot of times they are either the breadwinner solely, or they're the co-breadwinner. So also black men end up being bumped up from being broke as hell to middle class because of their association and partnership in marriage with black women due to the fact that black women are the most employed race of women in the United States. So there's three things: mental health, your physical health, and your finances. Those are three things that I just told you that benefit men for being married and specifically benefit black men like you. So there you have it. Those are the big three right there. Now, did that help you out? You can unmute yourself now.
Okay, am I allowed to speak? Are you done shouting? Or...
Okay, am I done shouting? All right. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Like y'all always
I don't
make
get to
me,
say nothing.
no,
I don't
don't
get to
get
say.
disrespectful. Don't get disrespectful because you don't tell me, am I done shouting? Are you crazy? Like
What's the
that's the
disrespect
thing.
to answer the
Y'all be
question?
disrespectful. Y'all
Trick,
be
ask how much
disrespectful.
jobs he
And then my
has.
thing is, and then y'all be wondering why I give y'all the energy that I do. First of all, you can go ahead and apologize for you getting smart. I'm not your baby mama. I'm not your mama. I'm not your sister. I'm not the girl down the street that's scared of you. You look ashy, unwashed, and dehydrated. And I don't know why you think you're going to have this attitude and give me this energy. You got to be
That's the
out your
question.
rabbit ass mind. Because if I was a white tea woman or a white tea man, you'd be on your hands and knees
If
asking
you
me
was
for
a
butter
white bitch,
biscuits.
I would have cussed you
Yeah.
out and spit in your face. What do you?
Okay, first of all, what you would have did is got some hot lead right up in your forehead. That's what you would have did. You wouldn't have did nothing, baby, because I have a concealed carry. So think about that. You wouldn't have did nothing. Okay? As I said before, if I was a white tea woman or a white tea man, you'd be over here with your hands and knees, on your hands and knees with a collar on, asking for a butter biscuit. But because I'm a black woman, you got to have all of this energy and aggressive masculine energy. And then y'all wonder why y'all say black women. Why are y'all so masculine, black women? We have no choice because y'all don't treat us as women. We have to meet y'all like we a man because y'all have no respect. Y'all have no respect at all for women, for femininity, because what are you talking about? But like I said, I couldn't even speak to you. Let me block this person. Don Kennedy, you already got to go.
But you literally gave him the opportunity. You said, okay, you can speak now. And he used his time to speak to be rude and disrespectful.
It's crazy. It's wild
Because he
to
don't got
me.
a third job. I told y'all to be coming up here with all that. I bet you he only got one job. And it's not even a hard one. I bet you it's customer service or something. They have too much energy. They should be tired. He should have been on his third job with all that energy. I'm sorry.
It's crazy to me because it's like you get smart with me and you acting like you don't know what you're talking about. Like it's wild. Like they give me the nasty energy. And then when I respond in kind, it's like, oh, well, are you done? Are you done? Are you done yet? Like, excuse me. I was about to give you a chance to speak, but you was talking crazy. Like, you don't talk to me like that. I know you don't think you're going to get on my life, on my stuff, and I don't know you and you going to get smart with me. Like, you got to be smoking. I don't know what you're smoking, but it's definitely something phenomenal.
Hey, Trigger, he is exactly the example that I was talking about earlier of the type of men that I always see that claim that they are a part of that red pill ideology. They are always disrespectful. They have no self-control, none of that stuff. I know that they believe that this red pill ideology is something good for men, but it's not, because
well, just a second, Special K, and I just want to do this real quickly. This is the guy that was just up here. You know, he just proved my number 3 point. Also unattractive. ugly.
Oh,
You
you
know what I'm
lying.
saying? Just straight up unattractive and ugly.
He looked
And
like
that's what I
he
mean.
looked
Y'all
like he got
always
the
be so
mange.
ugly and y'all got so much energy, bro. It's ridiculous. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, you don't even, y'all be looking so terrible and got such a bad attitude. You cannot be ugly and mean. Please pick a struggle.
He need to go to the store and pick up a training bra and some Sulfur 8 and clear up that main. I know we boycotting TikTok, but we boycotting Target. But going on over to Target, get that Sulfur 8 and stop and get you a training bra.
Oh, it's crazy to me. Like I said, like it just be blowing my mind, like for real, because it's just like it never, ever, 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 ever fails. Like I'm literally at a almost 100% success rate, 99.9999999% for sure. That every time you look at these guys, they got so much smoke. They talk about some, I don't see the upside to marriage, because nobody wants to marry you, Ashy. Nobody wants to sit there and look at you every day. Nobody wants to do that. So this not like you have a choice. You don't have a choice. Like you're in the male loneliness epidemic, and it's not by choice. You can't get somebody. But anyway, let me go for it. Go ahead, Dark Truth. I'll go to Dark Truth and then go to Dark Truth, then
Reese
Reese.
Buttercup, yeah.
Go.
No, all I was gonna say was, I don't see how he didn't see that as a benefit as far as health and mental wellness and life longevity. Those were complete benefits for anybody out there. And then I forgot what the other thing he had said. Oh, I was just gonna point out, like somebody else on the panel already said, that when you told him to go ahead and speak, he should have just went ahead and speak. And said he wanted to get smart, and then get mad when he be called out for it.
Yeah, he was bugging. All right, go ahead, Reese. Go ahead, sis. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. Thank you for inviting me up. I just wanted to say that it boils down, in my opinion, to the fact that men do not want women to have rights. So, like, when we talk about these topics, they'll be like, oh, well, child support. They don't want women to have a right to child support. They don't want a woman to have a right to alimony. And then when women talk about 4B movement, not giving them anything, smacks, dating, relationships at all, and they're like, you can't do that either. So in my opinion, it just boils down to the fact that they don't want women to have any rights whatsoever. And so when you talk about a man paying bills, it's like, oh, well, what did you do to earn that? So it's all about them trying to extract the rights of women, and will literally start talking as if they're lawyers and how the court process works. And it's like, okay, so now you're a lawyer now, you understand how the court works. Like, so it's just, they'll do anything to take away the rights of women. And even these men who will be red pill and say like, oh, well, I believe in, paying for a woman. No, you want to pay to take away the rights of a woman. So, yeah, that's all I had to say.
All right, Reese. All right, I'm going to go over here to Carmel Mermaid. Go ahead, sis.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Okay, I'm gonna say this. At first, I was gonna come up here at Goofy and trying to be like that one. What's the hotel woman from Black Woman Sketch Show? But that left the building. But let me tell y'all a story about this one. I work at Social Security. Had a woman call. She was 20 years in.
You muted. I think she got a phone call, y'all. Yeah, go ahead, sis.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm back. She was in a 20-year common law marriage with a man. The man got put off the census. She called Social Security thinking she was going to get widow's benefit. I said, okay. I had to spend hours looking on the policy. And long story short, she lives in a state where common law marriage is not recognized. Sorry, ma'am, you're not getting that widow's benefit. She was like, but we've been together for 20 years. Have y'all been married for 20 years? No, but we common law. Ma'am, your state have not recognized common law since 96. So after 96, that is gone, and y'all was just shacking up. She was like, well, you didn't have to say it like that. I said, I'm just going to be honest with you. According to this policy, read the policy to her in her state. And so it was like, we cannot do nothing, unfortunately. And so she was like, okay. I just thought I would have got something. You would have got something if 20 years ago you put y'all went down to the courthouse and got that marriage certificate. So yeah, so don't do the 20 plus years shacking up because it doesn't benefit you. He gets on the life, get put off the census. You ain't getting his pension. You ain't even going to get his Social Security. About the pension thing, he can also get Social Security. He can get 100% of his Social Security right along with pension. So, supervillain and T, hop on it right now. um, but with the health, I could see that because my uncle is married and my uncle is stubborn, and my aunt, she'd be like, well, husband, you know, you need to go to the doctor. My uncle be like, I ain't saying no MF and doctor, but you need to go see it. I'm fine, man, F that. Oh, okay. She'll call my mom. Because my mom and my uncle act like Medea and Uncle Joe, and next thing you hear is, MF, your wife is white. You need to take your black A over to the damn doctor. Like, that's how it goes. So when his wife and my mama starts double teaming on him, yeah, he goes to the doctor. So yeah, I'm sorry, men are stubborn. Men are very stubborn. And I'm sorry, y'all need us to survive. And have you realized with the life expectancy, 9 times out of 10 is opposite for single women. Like, single women live longer to an extent.
Yes.
And that's crazy, but that's all I got to say. And I'm gonna be in the chats because the last time I was not in the chat, I got called out. So I'm gonna be, yeah.
Okay.
All right, y'all have a all right.
All right, thanks, Farmer
Girl.
Mermaid, for coming up. I wanted to respond to Jay Polo, the dude that was just up here. Like, the fact that you really sat there and sent a request for you to come up, I really, really don't understand. I know that y'all probably used to the little hood boogers that entertain y'all, because there's no way any woman with class or intelligence would entertain you. Y'all be used to getting second chances after y'all be disrespectful. It's no second chances here. I can't believe that you would feel like you gonna send me a request and you not going to apologize for the disrespect that you served me up here and also the ladies up here. You got to be out of your rabbit ass mind. Like, seriously, you're crazy, bro. Like, you can't be serious. I don't care what you got to say. I don't care about your perspective. I don't care about what you think, how you feel. All I know is that you just a regular Pookie, and it's a million one of y'all. I can go outside and pick from Negroes like you every day. Miserable, unattractive dudes that never could get the girl that they really wanted. And so now you mad at everybody. Now you mad at the world. Now you mad at every black woman, because every time you try to holler at a girl, she say, ew, 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 ew. Ew, get away from me, brokey. Get away from me, ugly. Go fix your beard and put some moisturizer on your face, and it won't be all razor bumped up like that. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not my fault you got razor bumps. It's not my fault that your hair looks also like full but thin at the same time, and it's like a dusty, ugly color. That's not my fault. That's your mama's fault, your daddy's fault. If you know, it has nothing to do with me. And I'm real tired of y'all taking out y'all feelings and y'all anger onto me and other black women because we speak the truth. I sat there and told you the truth. You asked me the benefits of marriage, I told you. And I gave it to you. It's rooted in science and it's fact-based. And yet still you couldn't take the fact that I was more educated than you. You just got mad and got in your feelings and started resorting to, oh, I spit in your face. Oh, I will hurt you. Of course, because that's what y'all ignorant Negroes do. That's what y'all ignorant nignogs do. Y'all always resort to violence, which is the reason why y'all are deleting each other so much. The health professionals want to call it an epidemic. That's the reason why y'all are deleting black women at unholy rates. That's the reason why black women make up less than 10% of the female population in the USA, yet make up 59 to 60% of all unalivings of women, which is done 9 times out of 10 at y'all hands, because y'all are so poorly emotionally regulated. Y'all don't know how to have conversations. Y'all don't know how to function without violence towards women. And that is downright embarrassing. And honestly, you need to check yourself, because if you have a daughter, the same type of man that you are, she's going to run into in the real world. But as for me, I don't give men any grace. 0, 0, 0, 0. You got one chance to disrespect me and one chance only, and you're gone, never to speak to me again. I don't know what you thought. So try that somewhere else, but you won't try it here. Okay? So now you can go ahead and get your dusty behind out of my life, because you would never be up here ever in your life again. All right? Have a great day. So let me move forward. Go ahead, DW.
Hey, so I find this conversation super interesting because I don't know how I got like all the red pill lies on my feed. But I just find them so fascinating. And I have just come to the conclusion, because at first I was like, these people just have to be grifting. I'm like, or rage baiting or whatever. But I have come to the conclusion that I'm like, this has to be like some actual psychosis, like genuinely. What you guys were saying before, like the pill community is literally built off of just like straight racism. And like when I say, I'm not joking about how like extremely racist it is, they don't like, it's not even just black people, but we're definitely at the bottom of the totem pole. It's very much white supremacist, but neither here nor there. Um, Something that I find super interesting though about like the black red pill community is that they can never stay on the same page. So it's, oh, I don't want to get married to her because marriage doesn't benefit men. But I want to quote unquote carry on my legacy, even though your legacy doesn't happen with your kids, but I digress. But I want her to have my children. I saw this one live last night of this man who was literally comparing the value of a wife and a baby mama. And he's like, it's literally just paperwork. And I'm like, it's not paperwork though. There is actual legalities to being a wife. Like, and also this man had children. So I'm like, just say that you just didn't want to marry your baby mama and then you knock somebody up. Like, I'm not understanding. But I'm also just like, it's weird because you want to follow all these traditional quote unquote values, but you're untraditional. Like, what do you mean? Um, and then again, they put all the onus on women. So it's like they can do whatever. So they can have kids outside of marriage. None of this affects them. But the women need to be virgins. The women also need to be 19 years old, or under that if you're super creepy. They are not allowed to enjoy sex. Smex. It's just so many like contradictions that don't make any sense that I'm just like, I genuinely think that some of you guys are actually mentally ill, or you guys just live on the internet. Cause I'm like, I don't know what reality that you guys are living in. It is insane. But I also just wanted to comment too on how shocked I was that there were so many women supporting this. There were so many women, like whenever I would join the lives, and the men, of course the men were coming in and just being like, well, I don't want to get married, da, 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 da. But there would be women in the lives that would just be like, well, marriage doesn't benefit men and I need to show him that I'm a wife beforehand. So all that to say is that the reason why this is also being fueled is that there are some pick-me's in the community everywhere. And so I'm like, okay, this makes sense to me, because I'm like, there's just no way that these men are getting picked. Like I refuse to believe it, because I'm like, but they genuinely are. There were so many women that were talking about how now, the only thing that they can offer is their body. And if they give that away before marriage, and they have nothing to offer themselves, which is crazy. Or how they'll cook and clean for their man. It's just wild. But that's all I wanted to say. I honestly think that it is just like an actual psychotic like cult at this point. And they love the Bible, but they like to pick and choose at the Bible at this time. But literally none of it makes sense. Like one person believes one thing that benefits him, another person believes another thing that benefits him. None of the things apply to the men. All the onus is on the women, except for the men are the leaders. So all that to say, it's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. So yeah, that's it.
That's definitely a
Okay,
quote.
hold on, you guys. I just started the show. Go ahead, Coach T. I think that would be better. Oh, well, at least I'm gonna try. Y'all let me know. You there, Coach T?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, did you see? Did y'all see I put Polo on my square? He was Grimace.
Yes,
But
I did.
but it's so fitting because you see him and you just grimace like, oh my God. You jump scare. But I agree with everything that DW was saying about how it's just a bunch of word salad. It's no coherence to it. And that's how you know that there was somebody in here before who was saying like, oh, you don't really know who was red pill. But no, you can tell. No, you can tell. You can definitely tell by how incoherent they are and how much sense it doesn't make. And it is sad that there are women who are willing to be complicit
in their own slavery, in their own subjugation. And I think that is the bigger picture that DW mentioned, and I believe it was Reese mentioned, is that while all of these conversations are happening, I don't want to be like a conspiracy theorist, but while all of this stuff is happening, Jeff Bezos is sending people to Mars or sending people into space, and like there's plans to basically do to space what they did here on Earth. So I really just need women to I need women to pivot and stop focusing so much on what these men have going on and what they think and how they feel. Like I said, when you hear a man talking about anything when it comes to the relationship, he's always viewing it from his point of view. He has not considered you. He is not going to consider you. He's not thinking about you. He's not even thinking about the children that he begged you to have or that he impregnated you with. Everything is about them. It's very selfish. It's very self-centered. And just keep that in mind when these conversations are happening. And I think that's the piece that a lot of women, they've drunk the Kool-Aid about, is the talking points. Provider. Oh, he's a provider. He's a protector. He's not doing that for you. There's a video of a creator that popped up on my FYP that talked about men are struggling so much now in relationships with women because for so long they had to court other men to be able to have relationships with women. They had to go through a father, a brother, a uncle. They had to impress a man so that they can get a relationship with a woman. And so they are very much wrapped up in that, I don't want to say the word, but that eroticism of having some type of relationship with a man as a conduit to a relationship with a woman. Or maybe it's the reverse. Maybe they want to use women to have relationships with men. So it's all a psyop. It's all a deep fake. It's all fake news, y'all. It's all AI.
All right. This is the first time I use this. Hopefully, okay.
Basically everything that she was saying. I also just want to add to, I feel like at this point of where we are as women, because previously, right, like, you know, the boomers, excuse me, you know, didn't have much rights. Then Gen X, you know, they started divorcing these men. Millennials started having more standards. And like, I'm in Gen Z where some of us just aren't dating at all because it's just not worth it. I'm at the point where like, if you do not add any type of like actual benefit to my life, I'm not going to date you. And that is just the reality and the majority of these men. A lot of these men are extremely broke. They work very regular jobs, that's just the norm, but they want control over you. And it doesn't make any sense. Also, they're very fearful of educated women. Like someone who has an education and a high earner, like, and especially after I talk about my occupation, it's an automatic, you know, oh, that doesn't mean anything. Your career means nothing to me. Da 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 da. All this stuff automatically, you know. So they already know that I'm not going to be quote unquote submissive, anything like that. It's all just a trap, honestly. I do think that, you know, if you want to get married and you want to have children, you can still do that, but you have to vet the actual, like, I don't even know, out of these men, because it's just really scary. It's just really scary out there. But I do think you can also tell who's who. So yeah, that's basically it. But I really think once women start focusing on themselves, and leave some of these dusty men alone and stop interacting with them, the world will be a much better place. And I also think too that once men just start to level up instead of complaining to women and like trying to water the women down so they can get back on the same level as women, will be better. Like, look at the college rates. You know, we had the whole conversation about Black men not going to college. Instead of, you know, oh, let's get some mentors in the community. What jobs do we need to fill? What can we do? It's literally just arguments from Black men about what they don't like about Black women. Literally everything is going to be our fault. They don't want to improve on themselves. They don't want to go to therapy. They don't want to work on their finances. They don't want to build generational wealth. It's just a plethora of things. And so I think at this point, not all of them, but we just need to leave some of them alone, for real, because they are not going to work on themselves. Women, we're always going to get it out of the mud. So that's basically it.
All right, all right, all right. I don't know how to like actually like wrap it up with people. Like when y'all have a few seconds left, I see people use this, and I was like, oh, this might be good, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll use it again, y'all. Okay, go ahead, sis.
Hey, okay, so one, an intelligent man knows the benefits of marrying an intelligent woman. They already aware that the value that you bring in the marriage, a woman amplifies a man's happiness, their intelligence, their increase their lifespan. Men know this, just like what Supervillain pointed out. A lot of these rich men, these wealthy men, don't get married once. They get married a few times because they understand and know the value of women. It's these low level, bottom of the barrel men that don't know the value. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take that back. They do know the value of women. That's why they spend so much time manipulating us. That is why you have to sit back and understand why y'all, if we're not valuable and men are the prize, as y'all like to claim that y'all are, why are you using every resource available to manipulate us into being with you? Because if you are the prize and you're aware that you are the prize and you are this valuable being, you should be actually okay with being single. But these men are never okay with being single. They need a woman in their life. They're very aware of that. It's just that the men that we usually want, especially the women that are smart, that want financial security and do be hypergamous, we don't want those bottom of the barrel men. And if you are a woman that got like 2 degrees and you making 6 figures on your own, and you got with a Tyrone, you got with a man in prison, or you got with a man that made less money than you, less educated than you, you're just a desperate pick me. That's all you are. You may be successful as far as financially, but you are not successful in self-esteem. You are not successful in your self-worth. That is where you lack. And that's where I always encourage those type of women to be alone. You need to be comfortable being single. And that's what the type of stuff that I always be talking about on my panel. I say, ladies, be comfortable being single. Get your money up. Keep your poom poom tight. Get your hair done, look beautiful. Get your skin looking nice. Go on many vacations as you can while you're alive and young and beautiful. And if a man propositions you for companionship or other, he has to out earn you, and he has to treat you like the goddess that you are on this planet. If he ain't brushing his teeth with your bath water, don't get with him. Absolutely not. Do not get with no man that's not trying to give you his house. And that's on God.
All right. You there, supervillain?
Yes, I am. Sorry, I had to put a patient on hold, allegedly. I want to say I'm so glad I came right after tea. I'm one of those women who are comfortable and happy single. It is possible. I think actually a lot more women would be happy single, not just because of men being degenerate, but just in general in their nature. Like, as women, we're not a monolith. We all appreciate and vibe to different things. And that's why I like to come up and represent for those single unhappy ladies, because again, sometimes it has absolutely nothing to do with a man. I particularly like getting in my bed, and when I stretch out, there's not a knick-knack there. There's nothing but more bed. I love that feeling. That doesn't make me feel lonely. That makes me want to stretch out more, right? That has nothing to do with the man. So a lot of the times, even when we have these conversations, the single part, the women being single, I always like to encourage and speak out, because again, it has nothing to do with men. I haven't had bad experiences with men particularly. I just am the kind of woman who needs to be single. And that's okay. I tell people all the time, I would be a terrible wife. Oh my goodness, I would drive a husband absolutely insane. Trig, I love to participate in hijinks and practical jokes. A nigga would get tired of me in a heartbeat. He'd be scared to wake up and step into his shoes. I like to throw thumbtacks in there. I like to play with itching powder. I just like to do a whole lot of funny things, because I grew up with like 6 and 7 siblings. So there is just, and that's for men too, by the way. There are just some people who don't need to be married, and that's okay. I think that's half of the reason why a lot of marriages don't last, because we're in a position now where we don't need marriage to survive. We can be our autonomous selves and live happy. So I just want to throw that out there. And I did not get a chance to shout out to my women, especially black women. I did not get a chance to tell y'all how much I love y'all today. So let me do that right now. Let me love on y'all, because there's always some type of negativity that we go on throughout the day. We forget to show each other love. So I want to take the chance and the opportunity to do that right now. I also want to thank Trig for making this space where we can come and be ourselves unapologetically. And I don't, to the guys that come in here and want to windmill, y'all are welcome to listen. Y'all can even throw your opinions, but y'all definitely not going to disrespect. I really question and think where you think you are when you roll in here, but I'm so glad that Trigger gets y'all together each and every time, as she should. So y'all, let's show her some respect, show some love, gift the panel, gift the host. Y'all tap the screen. That's free, and it's good cardio for those fingers, especially for them single ladies, if you know what I mean. I yield.
Oh, okay, go ahead, sis. Courageous. You there, sis? Let me see. You there, Courageous, Umi? Well, all right. Well, what I'll do is I'm gonna end the show and restart, just do regular, because I'm not for sure if she's there. Let me send you another request to I sent you a request to turn your mic on, Courageous, Umi. You there? Or if you're there and you like can't unmute or something, type it in the chat. If not, maybe she stepped away from her phone or something like that.
She might have accidentally requested up. I be doing that all the time.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, since I didn't hear, I'll just drop her. If she wants to come back up, she will. But yeah, I mean, the thing about it is that I was just really surprised that, first of all, the other guy that was up here, y'all, he said in the comments, I think his name was Chain or something like that. He was saying in the comments, he was like, yeah, I guess you ladies have some healing that y'all need to do. And I was just like, he was trying to just like get smart in the comments, but I already knew that he was on some BS in the very beginning, because all he was saying is a whole bunch of like word salad that didn't even mean anything. He just kept talking about emotional intelligence and emotional regulation. And it's like, what does that have to do with what we're talking about? It just is given that you just learned this word yesterday and you want to just keep using it over and over again, because it literally had nothing to do with nothing that we were talking about. And it's crazy to me that I can sit there and say that these topics, men literally had a conversation with these topics. I just reversed it and applied it to women, applied it to men from a woman's lens yesterday with a whole bunch of men in there having so much smoke and talking about women and black women in general. And it's very upsetting to me that these men can always come up here and say all of these things, but soon as somebody says the same thing applying to them, now all of a sudden they don't see the logic. Now all of a sudden it doesn't make sense. Now all of a sudden it's an attack on the black community. Well, why didn't you think it was an attack on the black community when y'all was saying it about black women? Like, it really just doesn't make any sense to me. And, yesterday I had a live about Shannon Sharp, and, black women shouldn't feel sorry for Shannon Sharp. I didn't want to see any black women in any comments talking about, they're taking down our black men. Look at this. They're always trying to destroy our black icons and all this other BS, because these men, these black men specifically, do not care about black women in any other way other than what they can do to use them. Of course, I'm not talking about everyone, for everybody to say the not all committee. The collective of black men don't care. So it's like, why are y'all somewhere hooting and hollering and trying to protect and defend the black man who laughed when a comedian, Gary Owens, said that he didn't care for black women and wouldn't protect them? He thought it was a good key. So it's just like, I don't know. I just find the double standards that the black community has for the behavior of black women versus black men, or even the double standards that the world has for men versus women, is just really crazy to me. And I think that the reason why the birth rates are going down, when I was looking up all of this information on like male loneliness and the benefits of marriage for men and all of these different things, the reason why there are so many women now in their 30s and 40s and even 20s that are making the decision that they're not going to be in partnerships with men is because it is so imbalanced. It's such a double standard. And there are so many men that don't see the benefit in making sure that marriage benefits the woman as much as it benefits him. And that's the reason why there are so many women saying like, no. So you mean to tell me that you want me to marry you, right? You want me to have the kids. You want me to be the main caretaker for the kids. And you want me to work and go 50-50 with you. And you want me to have intercourse with you at the drop of a dime, all while you're not pouring into me at all. It's like that. In what world is that a deal that a woman is going to want to take? And then the men that actually do provide for a woman, they actually do pay all the bills, they actually do pour into her and treat her with respect. All I see is men trying to shame those men, calling them simps, calling them punks, saying, why are they doing that? Even though those men seem to have a better outcome because their wives are actually happy and their wives are sticking around and staying around. So it really doesn't make any sense because I think that a lot of men do a lot of things for the gaze of men and the acceptance of men, because there's no way in the world you think you're going to be a man and get on a panel and say, hey, I want a woman to go 50-50. I ain't taking care of you. Would I look like you relaxing on my watch, even though the whole thing that I say is a benefit to you is that I'm a provider and a protector? Well, if you don't even want to provide me with rest and provide me with a relaxed life, then why in the world would I be with you? But my thing is that they say a lot of these things simply for the clapping of men, the approval of men. And if that's the case, if you care more about the approval of men than the women that you're supposedly trying to get, then at what point do we start talking about this homoerotic situation that y'all got going on? Like, y'all actually like each other, but y'all are conflicted. Like, and I don't really like to say things like that because, you know, people say that when women say that men are G or whatever, that they're just attacking their masculinity and they're just saying it. But I'm not saying it as an insult. Like, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. No tea, no shade. But I'm just saying, like, admit that, because if you're more concerned with what a man thinks about you than what women think about you when you're actually trying to sleep with women and get them to like you, then something's not clicking, Steven. Period. Like, something's not right. Like, I don't understand that. And I think more men have to admit that you care more about men than women. And since you do, maybe you need to find out what's going down deep down inside. Maybe you're conflicted schmexually, because if you care more about them, what are we talking about? Like, honestly, or if you be so quick to like go, you want to go somewhere, you don't have no problems going above and beyond for your boy. You'll drive to the ends of the earth to help your boy. You'll wake up out of the bed at 3 a.m. to go help your boy with a flat tire. You always talk about how great your boys are. You want to spend all your time with them. You want to leave your wife, your girlfriend at home by herself, lonely, so that you can go hang out with other men and other hard legs. Like, to me, what is that saying? Like, what is that saying? It's definitely not saying that you like women, because I know real men that like women, that they actually look at women as human beings. They like to be in the presence of other women. They don't always want to be like, hey man, there's too many dudes here, bro. Well, where the ladies at? Where the ladies at? Like, if your man or the men that you know aren't doing that, some ain't right. Some ain't right. I period. Something ain't right. But anyway, let me go ahead and let everybody else talk. I've been bumping my gums for too long. Go ahead, Coach T. I'll go to Coach T, DW, then T, and then Supervillain.
Trigger, you funny as hell. I'll be over here just cackling, especially on your YouTube videos. You be having me hollering. But I want to start out by saying shout out to the Gen Z girls who are, you know, making the changes and doing the things that they need to do in their own lives for them and not centering men in their lives. So shout out to the Gen Z girls. DW said she was Gen Z, and you know, she have her head on straight when it comes to these relationships, and that's exactly how it should be. And that's across the board. That's not even just in romantic relationships or intimate relationships. Any relationship that you have, it should have a benefit for you. You shouldn't just be having relationships with people just cause. There should be some kind of benefit for you at the very least. And definitely don't let people be siphoning or be vamping from you. We know as Black women, Supervillain always give us a shout out because we are amazing. We do great things. The whole entire world lives and thrives off of what Black women do in any industry, in any realm of life. So just always be aware of that when you in relationships with people. You know, how am I benefiting? Like, really, what am I getting from this relationship? Because I know that when I show up and show out for people. And you need to have that same thing returned to you, especially if you're going to be dealing with a man, because of all that we have to give up. And Triggered, I'll even add to the how these men frame marriage. They want you to do all of that, and they want to be allowed to cheat too. Like, they want to do all that, and they want to be allowed to cheat, and they want you to allow them to sabotage you. They want you to allow them to undermine your parenting. Like, they want to benefit from you, use all of your labor up, and then can't even show you a modicum of decency and respect by not even just letting you like live your life. They want to continue to watch you suffer and struggle and sabotage you. So I think that women definitely have to be cognizant and be aware of that. And that's why the Gen Z girls got it. They like, do not censor these men. Do not be worried about what they talking about, what they have going on. Boo, do you. Focus on you and do you for real. And then everything else is going to fall into place and fall into alignment for you. So Gen Z girlies, not even Gen Z, Gen X, the Gen X ladies need that too, because the Gen Xers, they still struggling. The spirit of mammyism is strong in them. But all Black women, no matter how old you are, no matter what generation, no matter what you do or where your life has been or where your life is right now, it's never too late to decenter men. It's never too. You can never go wrong when you decide to stop putting these niggas first.
To DW, or well, she's got her screen on, so she might be away from the phone. Okay, I'll go to T Scorpio. Go ahead, T.
And let
And
the church say amen to what Coach has said. I couldn't agree
facts.
with her more. And that, like I said, my message is always for women to get get your money up, look beautiful, focus on yourself, focus on your mental health, focus on becoming a better version of yourself, the greatest version of yourself. And if you want to be in a relationship with a man or other, you are in that space that you can be in a healthy, happy relationship, because now you understand your self-worth, you know who you are, you know what you want. It is, you know what I'm saying? So when you are a woman that is in that and like, in that space, trust and believe those type of men will flock to you, because now you're glowing. They can see you, and you don't even have to live to be in a relationship. If I'm gonna keep it a buck, my marriage fell on my lap. I always said it all the time. Even Supervillain can vouch. I was okay with being single. I was 4B. I said, I'm not going to get married. I'm not going to have no more children. I'm going to remain single for the rest of my life. And boom, shakalaka laka. This man said, oh, listen, marry me. You can have my house if you marry me. Okay. I don't see a problem with that. And like I said, the reason why I keep saying this over and over, because I want women to actually feel that. I wish that for every Black woman that chooses to be in a relationship, that chooses that. I really want every Black woman to feel that type of love and know that it exists, that there's men that will drink your bath water. I'm telling you, without you even putting half of any effort. All you did was just showed up. And this man looked at you and said, listen, I just have to have you in my life. And there is no price I'm not willing to pay, because you being in my life, it is going to make me feel like I'm up in the sky. And that is the energy that Black women bring. That is why the world copy us. That is why the world say they always want help from a Black woman. Any type of movement, Black women have to be a part of it. Even with these fake advocates, you notice who's always in the forefront making shit move is always a Black woman. A black woman is always a center of attention in this world, on this planet, all the time. So let no one fool you that there's men out there that will worship you. Absolutely. Absolutely. You shouldn't settle for anything less that you wouldn't give yourself anyways, you know? But, you know, of course, we don't like to always center relationships and center marriage and everything, because that's not the all and be all. Because at the end of the day, men only project that feeling onto us because they don't want to be alone. These men need a woman in their life, either for their ego, for someone to take care of them, or they just want just a woman to just be around. You know, so like I said, I am very proud of women that, like, we obviously are doing something right, because the aggression that these men are like are trying to manipulate us, building, like I said, $1 million billboards, advertising relationships, telling us that celibacy is not the way. That's telling us something. That's telling you something. All these panels, all these lives, and everyone keep talking about black women, that's telling you something. They're not getting the attention that they used to get, and they see a shift in black women's behavior. Because now we prioritizing our sanity. We're prioritizing our happiness, to the point that we say, listen, we could be alone and still experience all the happiness. And don't let them try to weaponize your uterus against you neither. They trying to tell you you're going to unalive alone with your cats. You ain't going to have no children. That's because they need children. They need children more than you. Because like I keep saying, they have to attach themselves to a woman to get access to a child. You can always have a child. We have technology. You can go get an IVF, or you can have no children. You don't have to have children if you don't want to. They need the children, not you. Because you can always get pregnant and run away with the baby, and boom, bada bang, there goes your child. These men need to be attached to you to have a child. And majority of the times, they trying to trap you anyways. They trying to trap you. They see you elevated yourself. They see you in a life that they wish they have. So they try to trap you with a baby, and thinking that's going to slow you down. Don't let that happen to you, please. So that's all I'm just gonna say for now. I have a feeling you about to end the live, right?
Yeah. I am.
Okay, no problem. We can continue this, ladies. If y'all want to come on my live, because it's just so happened I was gonna go live. Then I saw you live, and I said, oh no, I gotta go to Trigger's live first.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm gonna go live, and we're gonna always talk about my favorite topic. Do not marry no man if he's not going to sign a minimum of $100,000 infidelity clause.
All right.
Okay. All right. I'm a drop. Have a good one, ladies.
No problem. I appreciate you, T, and I appreciate you for coming up. Please make sure that y'all go, if y'all still ready to listen, please go to T Scorpio's live. She always have good lives. She always be getting the dudes together. She always be giving y'all game about getting that money. What was her and Supervillain talking about? The 666 thing. Y'all gotta go over there. They will give y'all all the game over there, all right, to get y'all a rich old man, okay? All right, go ahead, Supervillain, if you have something to say.
Now, my evil twin, my good sis, wrapped it up well. Thank you again for the space. Ladies, I love you, especially black women. And I'm out. I yield there, Trigger. Thank you.
All right, no problem. It's always good to hear from you, T, Supervillain, Coach T. I appreciate all the other ladies that came up as well. I think it was like DW and it was another lady. She was at the bottom corner. I forgot. I think her name was Reese or something like that. And also Miss Kamisha, Special K. And Carmel Mermaid as well. Appreciate Miss Chrissy Baby that's always watching it in the comments. Brooklyn, and let me see if I can give a shout out to some people that's always in here. Miss Cookie, Lady London. I know I've seen Jill before as well. Miss Good News, Just Justify. Always good to see you ladies as well. Your bestie as well. I see her a lot too. I appreciate all you ladies for coming and listening to the live. Hopefully y'all can go over there to Miss T Scorpio, because T Scorpio has great live. She has a lot to say, and also super villain as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here so that y'all can go over there to those ladies' lives and hear them. Just real quick, if you're a Black woman and you're listening to this, you're awesome, you're amazing, you're special, you're valuable, and don't let these lames tell you otherwise. All right. Okay. I'll see y'all later.